Mama, I want more toy.
Hello everyone, I'm TFP Freckles, and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our celebration of Megatron with this concept version from the Studio Series line. So buckle up for Studio Series 109 Concept Art Megatron. This guy is based on a design that didn't appear in the Bumblebee movie. He was originally supposed to appear frozen in the ice at the Hoover Dam, bridging the gap between the Bumblebee film and the original 2007 movie. But that scene was cut. So this concept art figure was created from a discarded design. But if we dive into the robot mode here, I gotta say, this is an awesome toy. The robot mode is the best part about this figure. It's an incredible interpretation of Megatron, which matches the hyper-mechanical aesthetic of the Bumblebee movie. He's got that look with hard, heavy outer armor and churning internals, like he's a roided out engine block just ready to snap at any moment. The silver distribution all over this dude is excellent, with a healthy mix of gray and red peppered throughout. I do love his general stance. He looks like a clean CGI model, even if he wasn't in the film. The arms look brutal and bulky, boasting most of the bot's actual color in a flash of fleshy crimson protruding from the shoulders, which is shiny and square and just really appealing to look at. The forearms are entirely painted red, and the legs got some seriously seductive gams right there. His legs are doing a lot of work here. The legs almost remind me of the internals of a Gundam model kit, the way that all the parts just sort of cover themselves and attach to one another, looking very smooth and yet at the same time incredibly complex. And these shins are adorned with a sheet of metal and these giant kneecap blades. It's kind of cool how they become invisible when pressed up against the thighs. And they're honestly one of my favorite features, just flipping between the leg and the kneecap part, moving it up and down. And there's some nice details like the shocks embedded in the forearms and thighs. The noggin is a very Megatron head sculpt, and it looks pretty good. Those tiny red beady eyes are incredibly intimidating, but the mouth is easily lost in the figure. When you look at it a certain way, it makes him have an underbite. And of course we've got the Decepticon symbol front and center on the breastplate, and right below that is my biggest issue with the figure. It poses perfectly, it looks awesome, but he's got an old man diaper, man. His waist and hips, I don't know why this happened. I'm guessing they were going for more a kilt look, but it just makes him look like an old geriatric man rather than a Decepticon ruler. The back is super clean though, and incredibly detailed, though some sections look a bit plain, like the butt section, which has nothing on it. But now let's talk about the articulation. This is by far the biggest plus of this figure. If you want to convince anyone to buy it, just bring up all these different articulation points. This is by far the most posable Hasbro figure that they've ever made, period. It's incredible how much they can do with a Transformer, you know? The head is on a very nice ball joint. It can look up and down, rotate 360. I mean, it could probably do more, but it's already doing enough to make him look at you. The shoulders have a full 360 rotation. They can move in and out with this butterfly joint. I mean, when's the last time? You don't see butterfly joints consistently on figures, so it's always appreciated when they have them. You got a bicep rotation, a single jointed elbow, which bends way past 90 degrees. You have lower forearm rotation, which is for the transformation, but still usable. Wrist rotation and a wrist tilt, useful for a sword wielding wrists. You can also get some inward and outward movement. He's got 3-finger trigger, finger split, but 2 joints at each knuckle, which is pretty cool. Posable fingers are usually seen on Masterpiece figures and occasionally on Leader class or Commander class figures. He's got the highest level of hand articulation, and it really is incredible. And as I mentioned, the waist is kind of all over the place. It really does kind of lower my opinion of the figure, but it still works as a waist. It just looks a little bit unnatural. All the hip skirts here can be moved out of the way, which allows you to maximize the range that he has at his hips. The legs can go forward and back, and of course you can get a deep knee bend and the split, so you can get him in all sorts of poses. There's a thigh rotation, a single jointed knee that bends all the way, and the knees just the knee pads can either stay on the thigh when you bend it or move up, so you can make him knee someone with a giant spike, which is incredibly cool to imagine. The ankles can go up and down. You also got a tilt, but no actual foot rotation itself. And he's so well balanced, like, you could get him, like, standing on one foot and do a bunch of other cool poses. Like, it is phenomenal how well you can pose him. And it's an absolute thrill to be around. For accessories, Megatron only has the big old fusion cannon. It looks great, like, it almost looks like a jet engine, just swirling around, building energy for him to fire at someone. And there's this hinge here which you can move back and forth, and you can also put said cannon on his back, make him reminiscent of his original G1 look. I just keep it on his arm because, like, what else he's going to do with it but blow people up, right? It's very cool, like, very large, mind you, but I like the giant cannon. If it was bigger, maybe I'd have an issue, but I think it's like the perfect length in my opinion. Now, sadly, again, with the negatives, but we gotta talk about the alt mode. I don't know what to say. My biggest issue is the fact that they made him a triple changer for seemingly no reason. Like, the jet mode feels like an afterthought. The tank mode here, as much as I love tank modes, just doesn't really hit, and it's a big mess just trying to get him into tank mode. Like, nothing, because of all the compromises they made to allow him to triple change, it doesn't feel very satisfying for him to transform into any mode, including that one gun fan mode that some people have done. Like, it just doesn't feel satisfying. It's not fun. It is not a fun transformation. It gets lost in the clutter, and it's one of the few Transformers figures I don't bother transforming. And whenever I do, I need like a video to remind me. Even then, like, I'm not gonna do it properly. It's not very fun. It's an incredibly posable figure, and its transformation just isn't fun. I think they made way too many sacrifices. They should have just made him transform into a tank or a jet, you know, because they were thinking about like making the Bumblebee movie canon to the 07 movie. Just make him a jet then. Just pick a single alt mode. Don't do two. It was already like asking for so much. And I do appreciate how the legs sort of explode, and you can't really do much with the arms. Like, you fold away the hands, and then the arms are basically useless. But the way that the chest also is compacted with all these different details and alt mode bits, like, it is impressive. It is very cool, but it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. Like, for the tank or jet mode, I just don't enjoy transforming it, and I got nothing else to say. The tank mode looks like the better one out of this. It's definitely... The triple changer curse is in full effect here, except it's at its worst, I think, because 2 out of the 3 modes are they're just bad, really bad. I think the worst version, actually no, I redact that statement. The worst version of the triple changer curse is when all 3 modes are crap, but this is second worst, because, like, it's a cool robot mode, but the whole point of a transformer is to transform, and here you have one that doesn't look good in either mode. So, it sucks. It sucks, but, like, between the 3 forms, like I said, robot mode's best, tank mode second, jet mode third. It's not even a competition, but overall, it does genuinely look great. The painting and sculpting are awesome, and, of course, as I said, the articulation is just amazing. The tank mode, like, looks decent, and it kind of comes together solidly, but it's not fun, and the jet mode just doesn't hold together well at all, period. So, it would have been cool to see this in the Bumblebee movie, though, like, if it was only going to be in the opening scene, it would just, like, seen his head or him yelling at someone. Like, he wouldn't have really done anything. It would have been cool, but I don't think we were missing much by not seeing this design. And the fact that it's a concept art figure kind of makes it like a talking point, you know? Like, it's definitely the most interesting part about him is the fact that it was never officially shown in the movies, but it was like cool enough to make a toy out of. So that's pretty interesting, and I wouldn't mind seeing more concept art figures coming out. But that's all for today. I hope you all have a great Megatron. I'll see you next time.